What is going on, guys? My name is Skinny Bone Jones, and this video is my SummerSlam 2014 full show results/review video. I have a lot to talk about in this video because SummerSlam was pretty damn great, in a word to put it. So we're going to start things off with none other than the kickoff match, which was announced yesterday. It was Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show, Mr. Sunday Night, taking on Cesaro. So Cesaro starts off by wrenching the arm of RVD before whipping him to the ground by his ponytail. RVD comes back with the monkey flip and a big kick into the corner. RVD's that kicking guy. It's a very nice Frankensteiner to send Cesaro out of the ring. RVD trips a little, jumping over the top rope, but he recovers and kicks Cesaro in the face before hitting the Rolling Thunder on the floor. Cesaro pokes RVD in the eye, dirty move there, while the ref is between them, and then he starts stomping away at RVD in the corner. He hits the delayed gut-wrench suplex to RVD before he does a little posing for the crowd. After a quick commercial break, even on the WWE Network, we return to see Cesaro grounding RVD with the headlock. Cesaro nails a big backbreaker before mocking the Rolling Thunder of RVD with a rolling double stomp to the gut. RVD then, after that, starts to begin a bit of momentum off a thrust kick. Both men end up outside the ring for a bit before they then bring it back inside the ring. RVD kicks out after a big boot to the face, goes up for the 5-star frog splash, but Cesaro hits a big uppercut to stop him. A second uppercut takes RVD out, but he gets pushed off again from doing the 5-star frog splash. He dives off into a massive uppercut, but somehow manages to kick out. Even I thought that was going to be the end of the match. We get a slugfest, just things breaking down until RVD hits a spin kick, follows up with the frog splash to pick up the pinfall and the win. So after that match, we saw a little bit more of talking on the SummerSlam pre-show panel. I think, if I can remember, we even saw the Totino's Bold Superstar Mama's Boy come out. But then it's 5 o'clock and the show opens with Hulk Hogan coming out to a nice little reception from the crowd there in LA, my hometown. This was just another promo to promote the WWE Network. The whole $9.99 plugs are, honestly, they're becoming too much. It was kind of funny, though, when Triple H was trolling everyone, but now it just seems they're really making this desperate. Like, they really need subscriptions for the WWE Network. But after Hulk Hogan leaves and he does his whole network plug shiz, Miz makes his way to the ring, which means the Intercontinental title match is up first. So Dolph Ziggler comes out after that, and they both lock up. Miz hits a running shoulder block to then start things off. Both men counter hip tosses. Ziggler settles for a sunset flip for a 2 count. Ziggler hits a Thez press, and I like the Thez press, honestly, with the way I saw it tonight. It was really cool seeing the Thez press. I haven't seen one in quite some time. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But Miz gets out of the way before he can get hit in the Moneymaker. Ziggler gets whipped hard into the turnbuckle to take him off his feet. Miz gets the casual "you can't wrestle" chance, but they start turning into boos after Miz hits a huge boot to the face of Ziggler. He heads up top, ends up diving into a punch straight from Ziggler. Ziggler then starts to build some momentum, and he hits a neckbreaker for a 2 count. Ziggler gets tossed over the top rope, but he skins the cat and ends up nearly winning with the roll-up, pulling some Eva Marie. Miz tries for the figure 4, but Ziggler kicks him off, hits him in the face with a punch, and a great super kick for a close 2 count. Miz is able to then lock in the figure 4 on the second attempt, and Ziggler struggles to make it to the bottom rope. I actually thought that Miz was actually going to make someone tap out with the figure 4. I mean, not even Ric Flair could really do that. But Miz then pulls him further toward the center. Ziggler claws, finally makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. Ziggler then gets up onto his feet, tries for a famouser, but Miz counters with a skull-crushing finale from out of nowhere for a very close near fall. I honestly thought it was over. Then Miz misses the running kick. Ziggler hits the zigzag for the pin, and he wins the Intercontinental Championship. That was a pretty cool match, if you ask me. Man, I wasn't expecting that at all. This makes me 0-1 so far in my predictions because I predicted the Moneymaker, The Miz, retaining his Intercontinental Championship. But that was the first title change we saw on tonight's SummerSlam 2014 pay-per-view. The next match is the Divas Championship match. AJ versus Paige is up next. Both Divas come out to the ring. Paige, of course, offers her handshake to AJ, who takes it and she bites it. She bites her hand. She's really going after Paige, pulling some of her hair out, possibly a weave, but, you know. But Paige comes back in and takes control of the matchup. She hits AJ with the knee to the chest, and then she ends up dropping AJ face first across the barricade. Paige gets on top of AJ and hits several headbutts to the champion. They end up on the top turnbuckle, and AJ sends Paige crashing to the floor. She climbs up, leaps off the top rope onto Paige with the clothesline all the way down to the floor. That was an awesome spot there. Paige nails a kick to the face before picking AJ up, only to be countered and lock in the Black Widow submission. Paige manages to counter it into a cradle DDT, which she has called the Rampage, for the pin and the victory. So, we have a new Divas champion, Paige, her second Divas title. So, at this point, I'm wondering, we have 2 title changes in the first 2 matches on the show. It was a very interesting start, if you ask me, because that started putting question into my mind about whether or not we'd see a 3rd title change of Lesnar winning the WWE World title. But that was a pretty great Divas match. The spot off the top rope with the whole clothesline thing, that was really awesome. The flag match between Rusev and Swagger is up next. For Swagger's entrance, WWE has some local soldiers come out with the flag ceremony before Swagger makes his way out, which I thought was a really nice touch, being a real American here in LA. But the match starts and Swagger got Rusev in the Patriot Lock before the bell even rings. Quick to jump the gun there. The ref gets them separated so he can ring the bell, and it looks like Lana is trying to get Rusev out of the match because Rusev appears to have a hurt ankle. The ref rings the bell anyway, starts the match, and Swagger just straight charges at Rusev. He goes right for the injured leg as the We the People chants break out, representing USA. Every time Rusev goes to the outside, Swagger follows him out, takes him down. Rusev at one point gets his knees up during a Swagger bomb to reverse the momentum, which was pretty cool. Rusev lips around as he starts to work Swagger over. Rusev then puts Swagger in a waistlock to wear him down and got some time to recover there with his supposed hurt ankle. Swagger tries to counter it with a belly-to-belly suplex, but his hurt ribs prevent him from getting Rusev over. Swagger just explodes, hits the belly-to-belly out of nowhere. He builds up a head of steam as he hits the Swagger bomb, actually hits it on the second attempt. Swagger then ends up hitting another big suplex for a 2 count. Rusev then takes back control and tries for the accolade, but his ankle keeps him from fully applying the hold, so he had like a half accolade locked in. Swagger powers it out, turns it into a Patriot Lock. Rusev is screaming in pain as he crawls to the ropes because of that whole hurt ankle thing. Swagger pulls him back into the middle, but Rusev just rolls over and kicks him off. Rusev then just barely, hits a jumping spin kick to take Swagger down. He then hits a big running splash before putting the accolade on completely. Swagger does not tap, but the ref calls for the bell after the accolade's locked in, after he realizes Swagger is literally passed out because of the accolade. So your winner, I guess I would consider via knockout, is Rusev. This match was not as good as I had hoped, but it wasn't too bad. I just wish it had been explained that it was a regular one-on-one pinfall submission match instead of selling it as a flag match. I thought they were going to do some flag on the pole or retrieve the opponent's flag. But after the match, though, Rusev kicks Coulter in the head as he checks on Swagger. Apparently, the rules of a flag match now just involve playing the Russian national anthem and raising a huge Russian flag up behind the ring. I forgot to mention before I started talking about this match, AJ and Paige made me 0-2 in my predictions as I predicted AJ, and this match made me 0-3 as I predicted Swagger to pick up the victory for USA. So things were not looking good for me so far on the show. But the Lumberjack match between Ambrose and Rollins is up next. The bell rings, and they immediately start trading shots. Ambrose takes Rollins down with an elbow and then puts him in the corner for a series of stomps. Rollins is the first man to be sent over the top rope because, lumberjack match, they're always going to go outside. And then he's rolled back inside the ring by the Lumberjacks. Ambrose keeps punishing Rollins until Rollins hits a kick to the gut on Ambrose. Ambrose, now it's his turn to get tossed out of the ring, but he ends up slugging in with one of the Lumberjacks before he gets back into the ring. He gets sent right back out, and this time some of the Lumberjacks start beating up Ambrose. Ambrose then gets on the top rope, but Rollins trips him into the Tree of Woe position. Rollins then applies the $1 Million Dream submission to Ambrose, but he breaks out of it and starts to run Rollins over with clotheslines. Ambrose then kicks away Luke Harper, who is one of the Lumberjacks, before he suplexes Rollins over the top rope onto a pile of Lumberjacks. Oh man, they really used the full Lumberjack stipulation to their advantage in this match. All hell breaks loose as the Lumberjacks try to put the men in the ring. Rollins gets backdropped over the barricade, but the Lumberjacks carry Ambrose back to the ring. At this point, I was thinking it may end via count-out, but then I realized, wait, it's a Lumberjack match. The Lumberjacks can mess with them all they want, and the ref can't count, so there is no counting. Ambrose then back into the ring, dives through the ropes into some Lumberjacks before before running the announce tables and jumping onto Rollins. The fight spills into the crowd, but Ambrose catches Rollins before he can escape. They then begin fighting up the steps as Kane makes his way down to the ring. He orders the Lumberjacks to go into the crowd and to retrieve Rollins and Ambrose from the crowd. Rollins then takes out Sin Cara and tries to leave the match, but the Usos, Stardust, and Big E bring Rollins back into the ring. Ambrose then once again, using that Lumberjack stipulation to his advantage, dives off the top rope onto about 20 guys, which is nearly all the Lumberjacks, as they carry Rollins back to the ring. The crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome," as Ambrose begins to regain control of the match. Ambrose, out of nowhere, hits Rollins with a curb stomp. Seth Rollins' finishing maneuver to add insult to injury, but Kane comes in and he breaks up the pin. Goldust, pulling a funny moment, gets in Kane's face, comes in the ring. Kane punches him, and then all of the Lumberjacks hit the ring and they start brawling with one another. Rollins then ends up using the Money in the Bank briefcase to take out Ambrose and score the pinfall victory. So your winner is Seth Rollins. But that, ladies and gentlemen, may have been the best Lumberjack match I've ever seen, at least in terms of entertainment. I remember at a WWE live event I went to, I think it was like October of 2012, and I saw a Lumberjack match with Ryback and Jinder Mahal, and that was nothing compared to what I saw tonight with Ambrose and Rollins. But once again, this made me 0-4, I think, in my SummerSlam predictions. Then Bray Wyatt coming out for his matchup. He makes his way out to a ridiculously large sea of lights. Oh man, when I go to SmackDown in a week from this Tuesday, hopefully Bray Wyatt's there because I want to say I participated in the whole light thing. But enough about me and my live event experiences. Let's talk about Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. Wyatt is wearing a leather apron tonight. Wyatt uses his power to control Jericho in the early moments of the matchup, but Jericho turns things in his favor quickly. Wyatt takes back control outside the ring, and he runs his knee right into Jericho's head against the steel steps. It looked very brutal. Wyatt then pulls Jericho's head through the ropes and elbows him against the ring post several times before getting a running start and smashing Jericho's head against it one more time. Wyatt rips Jericho up into the middle rope, snapping Jericho's neck back hard. The dueling chants break out, "Let's go Jericho, let's go Wyatt," as Wyatt keeps Jericho grounded with a headlock. Jericho then hits an enziguri for only a 1 count on Wyatt. Wyatt runs over Jericho, hits a running senton for a close 2 count. Wyatt then gets a running start, but he is met with a drop kick from Jericho. Jericho starts to show some aggression as he kicks at Wyatt's head, but it's quickly dropped with a backbreaker for another 2 count. Jericho is able to get Wyatt locked into the walls of Jericho's submission. Wyatt makes it to the ropes to break the hold, suckers Jericho in, and trips him on the apron, causing Jericho to hit his head on the apron. Wyatt then gets caught on the second rope, and Jericho climbs up with him for a Hurricane Rana that sends Wyatt flying across the ring. Both men run the ropes a bit until Jericho drops Wyatt with another dropkick. Wyatt does his whole spider walk thing, which scared the living hell out of Jericho. Wyatt then taunts Jericho before getting hit with a code breaker for a close 2 count, which is how Wyatt lost the match at Battleground 4 weeks ago. Wyatt then brings the fight outside and hits Sister Abigail right into the barricade, which is just what we saw with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Picks Jericho up like it's nothing, sets him back in the ring, sets up for Sister Abigail, and hits it in the ring for the pin and the win. So your winner is Bray Wyatt. This was a really good match. It's definitely better than their match at Battleground, I think. I'm really glad that Bray Wyatt did get the win here because he really needed it, as I mentioned in my prediction video. I got this one right, so I'm 1-4 now. Wyatt was able to keep pace with Jericho the whole time, which is impressive for a man of his size. He's a real big guy. But off of this match, now it appears from that point we'll see Steph McMahon versus Brie Bella up next. Stephanie and Brie's feud has been built up so much that they can really only meet or just barely fall short of the expectations, so I really, at this point, had hoped that they had something special planned for this match. Stephanie McMahon comes out to the ring with some awesome attire. Some people said it looks like Seth Rollins' attire, but in a diva version. But Steph and Brie lock up. Stephanie puts Brie in the corner before making a clean break. Brie seems to be at a big power disadvantage in this one, as Stephanie is really trained for this one, it looks like. Brie takes Steph down with a couple of arm drags. Steph answers back with an elbow to the face and some shoulder thrusts in the corner. Brie tries for the yes lock, but Stephanie escapes the ring before it can be applied. Brie tries for a suicide dive through the ropes, but Stephanie hits her in the face and knocks her to the floor. Sorry, Brie, you're not Daniel Bryan. Stephanie grabs Brie as she gets back in the ring and hits a DDT, a really nice DDT from Stephanie for a 2 count. This "you still got it" chants begin coming around the arena as Stephanie keeps punishing Brie. Brie then starts to gain a little momentum, hits a few kicks to the head to get some breathing room, but Steph doesn't stay down for long. She runs at Brie only to get hit with a Thez press, which is something I mentioned earlier. I really like when a good Thez press is given. The ref then pulls Brie away as she lays in with kicks in the corner. She grabs Stephanie and whips her by her hair before stomping away at her in the corner. Brie hits a missile dropkick from the middle rope as she starts to get fired up. Triple H comes down to the ring, Triple H is followed by Nikki Bella. Stephanie uses the distraction from Triple H to attempt a pedigree, but Brie counters into the yes lock. Triple H pulls the ref from the ring. He pulls him outside the ring as Stephanie's about to tap out. So Brie then hits Triple H with the dropkick from under the bottom rope. Nikki then gets inside the ring and confronts Stephanie with Nikki and Brie on either side. Nikki then pulls Stephanie out of the way and nails Brie with the big shot to the face. Looked almost like a bullhammer. She helps Stephanie up so she can hit the pedigree. The ref gets back in the ring and counts the pin to give Stephanie her first pinfall victory in over 10 years. This match really, I think it got my expectations. I called the ending to this match. I'm just getting all my words mumble jumbled. So I'm now 2-4. I keep forgetting that in my match predictions. But then Randy Orton makes his way to the ring for his match against Roman Reigns, which a lot of people weren't really looking forward to. The two men talk a little trash before Reigns then takes the first shot. Orton heads outside the ring to regroup, but Reigns follows. Orton keeps trying to take back control, but Reigns never lets him get in more than 1 or 2 shots. They go outside the ring again, but this time Orton is able to whip Reigns into the steel steps. Reigns then powers out of a headlock, but he telegraphs a backdrop and Orton slams his head into the match. Orton begins to circle Reigns as he stomps on various body parts, which is his WWE 2K14 signature move. Orton sets Reigns up on the top rope and hits a huge superplex for a near fall. Reigns counters a headlock with one of his own, and Orton drops him on his back, but Reigns is right back on him. Reigns then hits a huge Samoan drop out of nowhere to give himself some time to recover. They then both get back to their feet and start exchanging shots in the middle of the ring, with Reigns getting the upper hand over Orton. He sets Orton up and runs around the ring for the casual drop kick to the head, but Orton counters Reigns outside the ring and sends him straight into the barricade. Orton then picks up Reigns and drops him onto the announce table, which it didn't break, before sending him into the steel steps. Reigns and Orton end up on the top rope again, but it's Reigns who's trying to deliver the suplex. Reigns gets pushed away, but he comes back and hits a Samoan drop from the second rope. Reigns then lines up and hits the Superman punch. He goes for a spear, but Orton hits a beautiful snap power slam for a close 2 count. Orton then pulls Reigns through the ropes for his famous DDT, and then he sets up for the RKO. Wow, this match is really starting to surprise me here. But Reigns goes for another spear, but Orton nails him with an RKO. That was just an awesome spot. Reigns kicks out, and the crowd starts to go wild. The first time they go wild in this matchup. Orton does his casual surveying his prey and lines up for the punt kick, but Reigns trips him and hits the spear for the pin and the win. So your winner via pinfall is Roman Reigns. This was a pretty decent bout. Reigns looked really good, and Orton helped put him over well. Reigns really he put on a really good match. Something a lot of people weren't expecting is he's now the 5 moves of Reigns, just like the 5 moves of Cena. Really good match though, some pretty cool spots. Now at this point, if I'm going to do my math correctly, I'm 3-4 in my match predictions. But all that is left now is the main event. Blood, urine, vomit, repeat. John Cena is taking on Brock Lesnar. The bell rings, and Cena goes straight for Lesnar, backing him into the corner. Lesnar takes Cena down and then hits an F5 right away for a close 2 count. Everyone thought that was going to be it. The internet would have gone fucking crazy if that would have happened. Lesnar screams that he's going to kill Cena as he waits for him to get back up. Cena's barely back to his feet when Lesnar hits a German suplex, which the German announce team probably just calls a suplex. Yes, they did have a German announce team for this month's SummerSlam. Lesnar then buries a knee into Cena's ribs. Cena takes a wild swing, misses. Cena builds a comeback for all of about 10 seconds maybe before Lesnar takes him down again. For the entire match so far, Lesnar has been in control. He's beat red and sweating like a hog, but Cena is the one who needs to get his breath back at this point. Lesnar then tosses Cena with 4 more German suplexes like it's nothing. He makes a weak cover that Cena easily kicks out of. He tosses Cena with another German suplex, and Cena lands on his head again. Cena looks out of it, and the ref is then asking Cena if he can continue. Lesnar hits yet another German suplex and then makes the ref check on him again. Cena begins to fight back with hard elbows, and he ends up hitting the AA for a near fall on Lesnar. Lesnar sits up and laughs at Cena as he lays in the corner looking defeated. Lesnar's then bouncing around like a toddler with too much energy. Cena then tries to rush him, but Lesnar takes him down and takes dozens of shots to Cena's face. Lesnar then grabs Cena and hits him with 4 more German suplexes. Cena gets hit with a few more German suplexes before he manages to pull Lesnar down into an STF. Lesnar's able to roll it over, and he picks Cena up for another F5 for the pin and win. So your winner and new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. What a night this was. There was a ton of great action, a few unpredictable outcomes, plus we saw every title that was on the line change hands. This was definitely worth $9.99 if you ask me. So that was SummerSlam. I'm going to do a quick recap of all the results here. RVD defeats Cesaro. Dolph Ziggler defeated Miz for the IC title. Paige defeated AJ for the Divas title. Rusev defeated Jack Swagger. Seth Rollins defeated Dean Ambrose. Bray Wyatt defeated Jericho. McMahon defeated Bella. Reigns defeated Orton. And Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Overall, I went 4-4 in my match predictions. Not too bad. I've done better. But make sure to leave me a comment down below on what you thought of SummerSlam 2014. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed this review, if you enjoyed the show. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm Mr. Jones, signing out.